You talk to me about your views on the two political parties. Which ones are you more drawn in with?
Well, currently, as of right now, I'm definitely struck between both parties in equal hate, not in equal love towards them. Not that they're equal, because obviously Republicans are 100% corrupt, while Democrats are more 85%. Now, to really answer your question, which ones do I vote with? It's Democrats, of course. I'm more in line with the left. I'm more populist left. I agree with people like AOC, Kyle Kalinske, Jimmy Dore, TYT, etc. But in my real opinion, I'm with Jimmy Dore on a third-party approach. But I'm also with Kyle, where third parties right now are not going to happen, and you have to just do a democratic takeover.
Yes, third parties right now are...
They're not happening. They're not happening.
No matter what anybody would tell you.
The most you can get, I don't even know. I can look it up
3,
later
4%
and
or something.
Put it for people to see, but the most that anyone's gotten maybe like 6% or something, you know. I don't know. Ever.
6%.
You know.
What about the policies? When it comes to policies and all, you know, these controversial ones, especially President Trump has been trying to either push away the policies that Barack Obama put in.
Oh gosh.
What's your whole take on that?
See, and for everyone who's listening, this is the point of why we started Major Talk. Is the policies. The policy, and that's the most important part, and you'll hear it all the time on the show. First of all, what we need right now, probably not in this order, because I'd have to really think about it, but Medicare for all, and we need to fix this income inequality, and the war on drugs, and the illegal foreign wars we are in, that Obama and Bush started, and Trump is continuing. Those would be a few of the things that I think we need to start with, although there's a lot of them. To be honest,
especially
really
the wars.
Especially the foreign wars, we're invading other places. We've been doing this since World War II. We invade whatever place for whatever fucking reason we want, whatever.
It's not just that we're invading it. The problem is that we're pouring so much of our financial reserves into those wars.
Those disastrous wars.
Exactly.
Well,
for example,
in President Trump's
Syria.
administration, we're starting to finally see that they're admitting it's all about oil, it's all about minerals, it's all about we need to do a takeover for whatever financial gain
they used to be like
cover it up,
democracy and you know, Western civilization.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
exactly.
It was always about the power and the money and the oil.
Always.
Because, you know, no one really cared about democracy or you know...
Not when it came to America.
Not when it came to those huge amounts of money that was being juggled.
Yeah.
You know?
No, definitely.
No one really cares about democracy when there's trillions of dollars.
Yeah, I forgot the president. I'll put up a picture or something about it for you guys to see later. But he warned us as soon as at the end of World War II. You guys will know I'm so bad at this. I should know who the president was at the end of World War II. But anyways, he said you got to watch out for the military-industrial complex. They are a power to not be reckoned with. Now, that's not the actual quote, but that's what the basics of what he was saying. I'll show a quote later. And he told the truth so hard, you know, 60, 70 years ago, and look at it now. The military-industrial complex, I think, gets almost the entire, like, most of, like, the giant portion of the...
Are you kidding? No. Trump even raised it.
$80 billion.
Do you imagine? Can you even imagine how much money that is?
Entirety of $717 billion. That's
Yeah.
almost that is how
Seven
much
hun-
we were spending. Almost how much we were
Repeat
spending
that
at the
number,
height.
please.
$717 billion. That is almost the same as the height of the Iraq War. I
Yeah.
believe it was like 780.
The point is, we're not even in any, like, well, we're always in some kind of war, but Syria, for example, is a complete waste of our resources. Okay? Because as much as, you might not agree with Russia or Syria or whatever, America was never invited there, as Russia was officially invited. Now, as much as we can hate that, as much as we can disagree with that, whatever, that's just how it is,
Well,
And
the United
for us
States
to
likes
be-
to act like the world's policeman.
Yeah, but the taxpayers get to pay for that privilege.
Yeah. We pay for death and destruction.
Basically.
Yes, yeah. And we could talk all day about wars, but we'll save that for another episode. Maybe when we talk about the 19-year-long war in Afghanistan.
So, yeah, it's like, to be honest, think of all the things that we could be
There is a
using
report
those $700 billion on other things.
There is a report out there, which
In
we'll show
this
the
country,
audience
yeah.
later. I'll find it from Kyle's page, but there is a report, or I think he found it on Twitter, about how many times you could spend on Medicare for all, or not in the 10 years, but this year, Medicare for all, free college, homelessness, education overall, like paying our teachers better and filling our classrooms up with more learning materials rather than stuffing them with people like pins.
Yeah. Because, see, and a lot of people would say, well, we gotta, protect our country because everybody hates America. Well, there's a reason why a lot of countries hate America, and it's the fact that we're trying to act like policemen. We're literally shoving our nose into every single country that we can. Yeah. Okay?
I'm not a sucker to believe that we're
positive feedback. Okay? You know what positive feedback is? The more we shove our nose, the more we have to spend on our defense, because now the other countries
quote unquote defense.
Yeah, quote unquote defense. But you know what I mean. That's what I meant. The defense budget. The more and more we have to spend on our quote unquote defense from the other countries that are not mad at us. Because it's just like a positive feedback loop, in my opinion, that could be stopped by actually.
You mean negative?
No, positive. Meaning the more we do of something, the more it backlashes in return.
Oh, so okay. I get what you're saying. It's an additive, so every time it's just adding.
Yeah, because the more we shove our nose into other countries' jobs and stuff, the more they hate us.
Entire country. Everything about that country we're just about.
Exactly. The more they hate us, And the more we have to send in our influence again. And then the more they hate us.
If my entire village was killed by American bombers and soldiers and shit, I kind of would hate them.
Yeah, exactly.
But the shit with war, I can't deal with that. But we digress now from that. We go to, I would say, another serious issue is our middle class and our working class, which is middle and poor class.
Yeah, the class that's taking a huge hit lately.
We've been taking a hit for the longest fucking time.
But especially lately, though.
Especially lately. Bush. And then Barack Obama, the one good thing he did is he stopped us from going into the recession was about to get seriously bad, to a depression.
Yeah, it was another...
And he just stopped that.
Bad economical recession.
He didn't really grow the economy too much, He
stabilized it,
stabilized,
more or less.
Up a little bit, it stabilized, up a little bit, stabilized. It's fucking stupid.
See, but when I was taking macroecon, they more or less, because there's two theories to it. One theory is just let the economy handle itself, because there's going to be ups and downs. The other the other sort of philosophy of economy is that we need to constantly, whenever it's falling, we need to put it back up, and whenever it's too high, we need to kind of, keep on stabilizing ourselves. So some people speculate that because that recession was stopped, it just kind of prolonged the inevitable, and so we're going to have an even greater recession later on because they stopped this one. But that's just economic philosophy.
I mean, I can
Or theory.
agree with that if you base that off if we continue the same model trend that we've been going through since the 80s, which is just fuck over the middle class.
I remember because there were
the rich.
two famous, I think economists
I
that
think
were
it was
kind
70s too.
I totally forgot their name, but I remember learning this in class, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So there is basically that side is saying that we should just let go and let recessions happen, do nothing about it, because then it will the economy will stabilize itself over time, and it would be worse if we actually did something about it.
I can take excerpts from that and mix it with the other point, but I can't fully agree with that just based on the fact that
that's just their theory, and
but
the other theory was
lacks
the complete opposite.
The thought, well, to my knowledge, based on what we're talking about, we can look into it later. But from what it seems like, based on what it is, that's more of like a conservative approach. The free market, it does itself, whatever. We don't need regulations. It can do whatever. But it's taking away from the fact that there are people behind the scenes who literally pulled the strings that caused this economic backlash, this recession, this this depression. That the economy can't fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe sometimes they run out of business or something. But,
I mean, I guess that's what they mean by the economy stabilizes itself. I guess through those people. I'm not sure.
And then when you give them giant... what is the word? You give money away to the people who just bankrupt.
Anyone who has that kind of power has too much power.
Well, yes, that's what the whole point of what the framers were saying is, you can't... I guess you can't really state that it's a monopoly, but it's almost damn near like a monopoly. Like, there's only so many people that own these banks, and they're just so powerful that they cannot fail. And then on top of that, our government's bailing them out. Bailing them out, that was a word, I can't believe that. I couldn't think of it. But we're doing bailouts for people who fucked the country up. Not only once. Sure, they're doing it again now, because our government, the Trump administration, with the tax cuts and the budget bloating and the let's continue Bush's trend on steroids. I'm sure, I don't know when, I'm not an economist, but I'm sure the same thing that happened in 08, 07 is going to happen again.
Oh, no, of course.
I mean, we're in a giant bubble that's waiting to burst.
It's just a general trend now.
We're all... A lot of us, most of us... It's
going to happen whether we like it or not.
I think 70% of us work paycheck to paycheck. Half of the country makes $30,000 or less a year. You and I definitely didn't make even $12,000, and I scoured the internet for jobs at this low unemployment time. I worked my ass off and said, if you need someone to take hours, I'll take it. But, they like their profits more, and I can't just be magical and find some place that gives me something good. I didn't make that threshold, for fuck's sake. I definitely am struggling.
Yeah. So what about, let's see. So we were talking about the working class, the middle class.
And the poor. I mean, that was what I was going to say, because if you want the economy to be beautiful, well, you really got to take care of the people who bring money back into the economy. The people who literally go out and shop and spend on their bills and go and actually accumulate more debt, which is good for capitalism.
Right.
That's building the economy, not trickle-down economics bullshit, Reaganism bullcrap. Fucking bullshit. Trickle-down economics my fucking ass cheeks. No, I can't take anyone serious who believes in that bullshit. I can't. I really fucking can't. It makes no sense. Because it's happened multiple times, and it has never worked. Not once. Not once. Not once. So I don't fucking get it. It's like, with Medicare for All, We've tried everything else except a government-insured healthcare plan where everybody is covered. Medicare for all. Everything else has not worked. There is 34 to 45,000, depending on the year, people who die each year from lack of basic health care.
Yeah, I've heard stories about people that would get into car accidents or something and they would refuse service because they don't have medical insurance and they don't want to have to pay for it.
Or people do hit and runs because they don't have good insurance or insurance at all, or they don't have... Well, a license, which has nothing to do with that, but
yeah. I mean, I get your point, and you know, like it's kind of sad to know that some people would refuse that kind of help, just for the sole reason that they don't have medical insurance, and that they don't want to pay for it themselves.
I remember hearing when I was younger. I mean, I 100% agree with you. I'm not ignoring what you said. But I remember when I was younger, have you ever heard the term, and if you're an American who deals with healthcare, you should know this, wallet biopsy. Wallet biopsy, excuse me.
No, I have never heard of it, but
America is the only country that does a wallet biopsy. And you know, you are a man of science, you love medical science, you're going in towards that. You know what a biopsy is. So
biopsy meaning like they would treat you
based on your wallet size.
Yeah,
exactly. And I've dealt with that my entire life. My mom, she definitely went into medical science, but she has her own issues. Don't care to mention any of that. But anyways, what was the point of that shit? Oh, so she had a falling out with all the medical stuff, and now she works at whatever she can get that's decent jobs. They're not low wage, but they're not high paying. And she's always struggled with healthcare. We've always had change in healthcare. We've always had the lower healthcare. The only thing I haven't had, I believe, was Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I had a certain medical one that actually went through Obamacare and I didn't know it.
See, a lot of people will kind of look at like Medicare for all and all that as this form of socialism that a lot of Americans are afraid of, you know. But no matter how much you might hate socialism or that you
see, that's the one thing I want
might have against socialism. You know what I just said, like about those some people refusing to get treatment because they don't have medical insurance, you know.
Bow wow, nigga.
No matter how much you hate socialism, like that should kind of piss you off. It just, like, if you have any common human decency, that should kind of make you sad, at least, you know, that people refuse medical treatment just because they're too poor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sickening. It's disgusting. I mean, if Jesus came down, looked at this, and went, oh, yeah, no, this is cool. Nope, you don't have health care, and you don't want to help them? Nope, it's cool.
Support capitalism, ladies and gents.
Yeah, rampant capitalism that fucks it up. I mean, I believe in capitalism for most of America's
why we're here.
Shit. That's what I wanted to say a second ago, is I want to nip it in the bud, or butt, whatever the phrase is, with this whole socialism shit. Socialism in its entirety is the entire means of production being given to the government. And no one ever... who's serious about this
do that.
Anyone who's serious about this on the left has never said that.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between socialism that they're trying to describe, like, oh, they're trying to turn America into a socialist country. Well, no, we're trying to do what we already have done and take certain programs that should not be done by free market people who want profits more than the content. And it's like the police department and the fire department. I have strong ties with them due to my grandparents. And I know a lot of people who have served in the army, in the military, the police department, and the fire department. Love them dearly. Love what they do, and I want to give them more money, but it's socialized. That's the key word, socialized. Medicare for All is a socialized insurance plan of healthcare. It doesn't mean that your government has to tell you who your doctor is and all that other shit. And that's the whole thing, is socialized is different than socialism. Although it derives from socialism, socialize is taking a piece of the pie, a sliver of the pie. Instead of taking the whole pie of socialism, you're taking a sliver of the pie and planting it there to do good for the people. Because that's what the government's supposed to do. It represents us, the people.
Yeah.
We need good healthcare, we need good education, and we need good roads, infrastructure deal. We need income inequality to be fixed, raise taxes on the very wealthy, and lower taxes on the working class, poor, middle class, etc.
With the infrastructure, now, I don't know about other states and whatnot, but here in California...
Alabama was rated... Or a town in Alabama was rated like a third world country. Someone from the UN said. It's disgusting.
Bro,
we have a grade of D+.
Some roads here in California, I look and I'm like, man, they haven't changed this since like World War II or something. like really?
Sure they haven't changed it since the 60s, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
because it just looks so worn down. And I remember when when we first came to America, right? Like,
from Russia.
Yeah, from Russia. People actually gave a shit. Like, whenever there would be some potholes in the ground, the next day they would pretty much be, fixed. And I remember this because the roads back then were so much better than now. Nowadays, like, people just... I don't know, kind of...
I mean...
give less and less of a crap about it.
20 to 30 years does a lot on roads. Especially, I mean, look at my old house, for instance.
I'm just saying that
the 20s, the pipes were from the 20s.
They used to constantly, like, at least fix it up a little, right? Now...
Like, there's a pothole, let's fix it.
Now, like, I was just driving down to one of our main streets here, right? And... They try to fix the road, but they did such a crappy job that literally I have to maneuver my vehicle around like people did in Russia when I go visit.
Is it
around the potholes?
Is it
around
extra?
The potholes and the line that they try to fix, right? It is not leveled to the original road, right? Huh. So it's not on the right level, and so. Of course, it treats your wheels badly, first of all, and it's just really awkward to drive on, right? And not to mention all the potholes that are on that exact... And I'm not talking that's like, some secondary street. That's like one of the main streets.
Like a very busy street in the city. Okay. That's interesting.
And I look at those things, and I'm like, what's going on? Why?
It's like
why all of a sudden have we just given up on these things, right? This is one of the only things that I care about here. I want to drive my car on a smooth road. Is that so much to ask for?
When I'm driving,
it's not like we have snow here or anything. Mm-hmm. We don't have snow here,
In this part of California,
we have rain, but not that much.
It rains like 2 months out of the year.
Not even. It's like
maybe
a few weeks.
A month at the most.
A few weeks. That's it.
That sucks. It rains a few weeks out of the year. I mean, kind of like it, kind of hate it. Yeah, that's your personal opinion.
Yeah,
but back to it, we digress from that to... Well, I do have to say, we need an infrastructure deal. I mean, all of our... Every state has an infrastructure problem. That's why we have a grade of D+ overall as a country. We need to focus on maintaining our water reserves, water pipelines, our roads, our houses and buildings.
And imagine if we cut the defense budget a little and funneled them into these problems. Like
I wasn't going to say it's just the defense budget. There's probably other things that we could...
Yeah, but, they're increasing the defense budget instead of, at least transferring those new funds to things that we need. I'm just saying that the defense budget is way too big for, the United States, especially that we're not in any war. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think...
Well, we're not in any official war, are we?
I do believe we are. And, Congress did do one. But then we had the Patriot Act, which
Well,
kind of
it's not
just
like
fucked
it's
up the
World
whole
War II
Constitution.
or something.
What?
It's not like it's World War II or something.
It's not like a world war, no.
Yeah.
But it's a bullshit blasphemy war. But anyways, the point is, Congress voted to fuck over the Constitution with the Patriot Act, and so the president could just be like, "Oh, we need to go here with military stuff or something," and it's not violating war, but it's war, but it's not war, but it's.
I just feel like America would be so much better off if they focused on the citizens more than foreign affairs.
I think you and everybody else in this fucking country was like, yeah,
You know, and I feel like any president that focuses on that instead of raising the military budget has my vote. Because I feel like that's one of the main problems, is that we have a lot of money, but we're spending it all in one of the most shitty ways.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I that's what, like, when I get into arguments all the time with my grandfather, whose only view through news is Fox News, it's just like, man, if you really have these certain issues, because, you know, Fox News plays propaganda well for certain people, where, anyways, they think that establishment is bad, yet the establishment they show is good, some backward shit. And so, I'm telling him, you know, maybe if you voted for people who were conservative and actually believed in those conservative ideologies and then understood working class people, actual people like that, then maybe, just maybe, you'd have less to bitch about. Now, that is what Justice Democrats, PCCC, and others are doing. I acknowledge every person who's being a populist progressive left trying to get a new wave of Democrats in. I, you know, comment down below if I missed you, please. But I started out with Justice Democrats because I've been watching Kyle Kalinske for a long time, and I mean, he's the real reason I got into politics. And then I've started getting so into it. I mean, I'm loyal to him, but, you know, I still got to get information from other places. So.
Right.
But I love him. I mean, he's right on it. Like, if anybody should have a news channel on cable, it should be that fucking guy. Like, even if he wants to stick to YouTube, it should be accessible on cable, in my opinion. And it should be accessible every fucking where. Because if people are going to get information, especially on the left, like you want real left information, Kyle's one of those guys. Jimmy Dore's one of those guys. The Humanist Report with Mike, I do not want to say his last name because I will botch the shit out of that. You know, TYT, Anna Kasparian, she's a hard woman.
Yeah.
Don't get in her way. You know, I respect her. And Cenk Uygur, you know, he also started Justice Democrats. They were co-founders. I think it was I don't know whose idea it was, all that other shit, but point is they were both part of it, and they both stepped down, unfortunately, due to some bullshit I don't think was worth the time, but had something to do with some dumbass racist thing he said before. But anyways, we digress from that, and we've been covering a lot on this. We could go all night, but you're getting a general view of our politics and our policies and our view on politics. And if you have any questions, any other comments, anything to add to it, any information to, you know, let us learn something.
For us to know, yeah.
Exactly. You know, let us know, guys, because we're here to cover the real shit.
We're here for the feedback. The more feedback, the better, guys. You know that.
You heard us, and you heard our policies. You know where we stand. You know we know a decent bit of the shit, and so we're here.